Welcome back to EM Board Bombs. The reason why Briggs is laughing is because we've had like 5 takes just to get this thing started.
It's been a long day.
Look, it's past 9 o'clock. I'm working
Eastern
shift
time.
tomorrow
Eastern time.
morning, Eastern time. Yeah, not this like what is it?
Central. Let's not even go into this. You skip Mountain time. Let's not even just don't worry.
Okay,
about it.
we need to move
Aleutian
on.
Island time. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, we're EM Board Bombs. We don't need to say that anymore. If you don't know who we are,
Get with
you've
the
been
program.
like living under a rock. Yeah, you've been living under a rock or something. You know what we do? It's a blue collar podcast. We try to keep it straightforward, try to keep it simple. Briggs is post a difficult long shift. I'm going to be going into one tomorrow morning. It's late at night. We are still delivering these pods for you. We're on what now? Like number 300 or something?
It's like 250 something for the free version.
Probably not at
the
300.
Premium
It feels like
the premium version is like 550 or something insane.
Yeah, like 550. They're separate
insane.
pods, right? And then this one is like, yeah. Anyways, moving on. Let's get into our STEM. I think this is a fun one.
Yeah, so you have a 28-year-old CrossFit enthusiast who walks in clutching his phone and a continuous glucose monitoring app. He tells you his glucose variability score has been trending down all morning and asks
Glucose variability score.
Asks if he should start a dextrose infusion, just in case. He also states his Oura Ring score shows that his stress levels have been, quote, too engaged, quote. He wants to know, what does this mean? He then becomes frustrated that you don't know how HRV relates to fitness and mental health.
Ooh.
I don't either. I don't know what that means.
Heart rate variability.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I don't have one of those. While you're trying to figure out what that means, his 62-year-old neighbor from down the street comes into room 3, arrives confused, and his glucose is found to be 38. He is a type 2 diabetic. So you give him 25 grams of IV dextrose, and he wakes up quickly. 45 minutes later,
awesome.
Though, you check on him again, and he's diaphoretic and altered again. Sneaky one.
It's a tough one.
This is a sneaky one.
This is a sneaky one.
This is making you think next step.
Yeah, because you want to just like give that dextrose again, right?
Exactly.
But the correct answer is...
You got it.
D, octreotide, and admit for monitoring.
So this is going to make some people upset.
I know it
ones
is.
Who wear continuous glucose monitors.
That we completely ignored. The person who's doing this is fine.
Yeah, the rationale behind this is that this is a patient with recurrent hypoglycemia. They're type 2 diabetic. We said that. And the idea of the question is trying to get behind, and this is how the boards are going to present it, is if you have recurrent hypoglycemia, they're type 2 diabetic, you got to really be concerned about sulfonylurea-induced hypoglycemia. And when that happens is that you can keep giving dextrose. You're going to keep doing this roundabout process, giving IV dextrose, when in reality, octreotide blocks insulin secretion and ends that cycle of that sulfonylurea-induced hypoglycemia. And so the glucose bolus, that'll trigger further insulin release from an overstimulated pancreas, and you're just going to chase this process over and over again in the ED. And so recognizing the fact they're type 2 diabetic, recognizing that you should give octreotide is the correct answer here. This is probably the only thing octreotide is actually good for.
Yeah, and I think the way that we were kind of tough on this. I think
we were.
They might add the patients are type 2 diabetic like we did. We gave you that, but they might add that they don't take insulin.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry about that, guys. We were a little bit tough.
Yeah,
we were too caught up in the STEM.
Yeah, also, this is the real world.
Yeah, it is.
Okay? All right? The real world doesn't just give you, like, everything you need. You got to think outside the box, right?
Yeah, how many patients in the real world come in and say, yes, I am on glipizide, and they pronounce it correctly? I can't even spell them correctly. So, hey,
exactly.
Rapid Bombs. EM Rapid Bombs. What is it?
Yeah, EM Rapid Bombs, 2 to 3 minute long premium episodes that we drop if you want to do high yield board knowledge, but also just general EM life. It's fascinating. We have people like in year 3, year 4 of listening to that premium pod even after taking boards. And the feedback we get from them is that it's a great way to kind of keep up to date on skill set, especially when you're fresh, a fresh EM doc in the new world.
Fresh and green.
If you're listening to our pod and even if you passed boards and you want just quick hitting knowledge as you're headed to work, EM Rapid Bombs. You can find it on our website, emboardbombs.com, or just search Spotify for EM Rapid Bombs. We like to keep it easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's it. Yeah.
Hey, so the key to hypoglycemia here is just recognizing it.
Yep.
I know it sounds really silly. Yep. So many things in EM are recognizing it, but it's one of those things that we often bypass because we're thinking about so many other awful things, but it is so common. It's insane. And it's always awkward when you like go down the rabbit hole of other things, and then someone, comes in the room and is like, "Have we checked your glucose?" And you're all looking at each other like, "Oh man," you know what I mean?
Or when
We've
you
all
know
been
something
there.
else is going on and you still haven't checked the glucose, you're like, I should probably check the glucose,
Yeah.
even though I know it's not this.
Exactly. And everyone's like, "Oh, that's gonna be normal," and you get it back, and you're like, everybody kind of hums like, "Oh,
But
42."
when it's not, I know, and they always look horrible. But the funniest thing is, they look so terrible.
Yes.
And as soon as that glucose
amazing.
number like comes back, like half the room leaves. Like nobody cares anymore. They're like, it's like, wait, hold on.
That's so true.
We still have to do
come back.
stuff.
Yeah.
Come back. All your, all your nurses that like to like ride or die for these moments, they're just like,
Yeah, they throw things around. They stop getting the,
Like,
stop getting the IV.
They're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Give it to one of the junior
Yeah.
fellows.
Hey, you're not you and you're hungry. That's what it is. You're not you and you're hungry. Hey, so every altered or seizing patient, obviously, and code stroke, should get a point of care glucose. And if you don't check a sugar, you're missing one of the most obvious reversible causes of altered mental status in emergency medicine. It's kind of like Narcan too, in a way, right? For the not breathing patient, that comes in from somewhere, dropped off at the door. It's like the obvious putting 2 and 2 together here. Let's go through the algorithm.
Yeah.
And there's this triad that's published on Up to Date and all these websites, and it's called the Whipple's triad. You don't have to memorize this. It's hilarious that the same guy that the Whipple procedure is named after of decided to name a triad for hypoglycemia. Essentially,
was it him? The same guy?
I'm assuming it is. We should probably Google this, but I'm assuming how many Whipples are there in medicine? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what was that guy? The
Guillain-Barré. Are you thinking about him?
Not Guillain-Barré Stroll, not our buddy Stroll. He got left off.
They left out Stroll.
I still tell people that every day in the ED.
I know.
I still tell them, don't include, don't forget to include Dr. Stroll, and they look at me like, what the heck are you talking about?
Guillain-Barré Stroll was the
Don't
third
forget Dr.
guy,
Stroll, guys. Don't. Look him up if you don't believe us. Look him up.
Shout out.
No, it was Beck, Dr. Beck. Remember his triad that sucks? And,
Beck.
But in reality, he was like a legend. He invented
the defibrillator,
right? Basically. And I was like, why can't I remember him for that? Not the triad. Anyway, so same thing with this. Think about Dr. Whipple is the famous, pancreatic surgery procedure thing that surgeons learn about. Yeah. And then this triad that apparently he named after, he loved the pancreas.
Yeah, we'll have to check that, by the way.
Yeah,
maybe
fact check. Someone fact check us.
Post.
But we're just going to assume it's the same guy. Maybe his son. Who knows? Whipple Jr. So anyway, his triad basically diagnoses hypoglycemia as the following. Well, they have symptoms of hypoglycemia. Then you measure their glucose and it's low. And then you give them glucose and they immediately get better. Technically, that's symptomatic hypoglycemia. I know it sounds silly, but that's basically it. The idea is you're going to treat it immediately, though. So I think this is such an important caveat. Why don't you dig into this, no pun intended, in terms of the actual treatment? Because I feel like so many people skip this first treatment step.
I know. You got to give them complex carbs. Please. Like, if they're able to eat, this is the key, right? They're able to eat. And I'm not even talking about, they're like maybe just a little bit sleepy. But if they're like, hey, you can get them up and like have them drinking some juice. Yeah. Exactly. Give them some complex carbs. Give them some juice. Give them the good stuff, right? Get those peanut butter crackers, all that stuff. And then, load them up, carb them up. We check their blood sugar in 15 minutes. And honestly, they'll perk right back up within about 15, 20 minutes. Now, if they're altered and just not eating, like this is like that patient that's like vomiting and there's other stuff going on, then what do we do, Briggs?
We're doing IV all the way.
There you go. Yeah, get my IV. Sure.
I never told you my first day of EM ever when I was a med student.
No way.
At Wake Forest. Want to hear this?
Speaking
of peanut butter crackers. So I'm working a shift with one of the chief residents, and it's about halfway through the shift. It's a 7 to 3, 8-hour shift. About, 1 p.m., he looks at me and he's like, hey, have you eaten lunch yet? And I was like, no. And he's like, let me get you something for lunch. And I'm thinking, gosh, what a nice guy. He's going to get me lunch on my first day as a med student.
Nice.
He comes back, the happiest smile on his face. And he's like, I made you a Teddy Graham hot tub. And what it is a bag of Teddy Grahams, which are famous at Wake Forest Emergency Department. And the Teddy Grahams are sitting in the little Jif peanut butter cup. And they're sitting in there like a little hot tub. And you would dip them in the peanut butter and eat them. And ever since then, I offered it to med students as well. And it's a Teddy Graham hot tub. We're not sponsored by Teddy Grahams, by the way.
We're not sponsored by them, but if you want to sponsor us, Teddy Graham, just hit us up. Hey, Briggs, that's still done. I literally saw somebody doing the Teddy Graham boat. Like
hot tub.
The other shit, the Teddy Graham hot tub. But anyways, in reality, that's what you need.
Totally. So IV dosing here is going to be, you're going to have D50 or D10. Now, there's often this
Mm.
debate which one's which, and some places I've worked at have had more D10, other places have had more D50. D50, of course, is universally in every code cart. It's 25 grams of glucose. D10, though, is preferred. It's safer for peripheral lines, less rebound, so you should try to do D10 as much as possible if you can. I get it, in an emergent situation, do whatever's closest to you. Correct their sugar. If you don't have an IV, you could do IM glucagon, but it's really ineffective in chronically ill patients, people that are malnourished, no glucose stores, alcoholics, people who are homeless, whatever. So in general, try to go for the D10 as much as possible here. Or again, as Iltfat said correctly, PO intake's the best. Complex carb and protein, the best.
And really, the key thing, even when you give that D10, whatever, follow that up
Yes.
with more PO. How many times do we see that, Briggs, where, again, the patient looks terrible, no one knows what's going on, you find out that blood sugar is like 40, everyone leaves the room except for like one person because people just aren't interested anymore.
It's so funny.
They get loaded up on like the dextrose, right? And then everyone's like patting themselves on the back.
Later,
and Mima is like wide awake and looking perky and hilarious, no longer diaphoretic. And then you get called in like 30 minutes later.
Totally.
Right? So you need to give complex carbs like right after that.
Totally.
Like otherwise you're just repeating the cycle.
Yeah, just going to go through the same thing again, kind of like our question stem.
Exactly.
So preventing rebound, it's really important that we're talking about when it's persistent hypoglycemia. So you're going to start that D10 infusion we talked about and check your glucose in another hour or sooner if they have a mental status change. Kind of like we hinted at, if you're suspecting a sulfonylurea, you're adding on octreotide. Now, if you're concerned about an insulin overdose, then you better buckle up. And what the deal is here is that that's long-acting insulin concerning like Gorgine example. And what happens here is that you're continuing glucose monitoring for essentially an admission. That's an automatic admission if you're concerned about an overdose on long-acting insulin. Most of the time, the vast majority of the time in terms of causes, we're talking about diabetic patients, they miss a meal, and they either misdose short-acting insulin or they gave their short-dose insulin and then they forgot to eat something. And that's the most common situation. That's like your best-case scenario because those patients usually can go home if they look well in certain situations.
Yeah.
However, if they have, a new AKI, or if they're, again, concerning for heavy alcohol abuse and they're hypoglycemic, we should really be cautious with these patients. And then a non-diabetic, you need to be concerned about the obvious things, sepsis, adrenal issues, thyroid issues, so a lot of endocrine problems that usually require admission for workup. If the cause isn't obvious, that patient usually needs an admission for workup, which requires a lot of nerd tests that IM will take care of for you. So like,
just call that nerd.
Yeah, nerd tests. Yeah, like insulin, C-peptide, cortisol. And I'm so happy we have people like that to do that kind of stuff because they're much smarter than us.
No,
thank God.
Yeah, they're amazing. Yeah, thank God. Yeah, we're not ordering Phenas, so
or C-peptides. But yeah, seriously,
I did that once. I ordered it once just for fun on like a patient who had some renal like issues going on, and I was like, let me just see this. And I got like a call from there, like, we actually didn't need it in that patient. I think I'm never doing.
I ordered urine electrolytes one time for an AKI, urine sodium and urine potassium, and one of my fellow attendings called me a nerd straight up. He's like, I'm gonna take a picture of this and send it to our group. Yeah.
Anyways, you are ordering as Dr. Briggs would say, the nerd tests.
Yeah.
When you don't know exactly what's going on, or deferring those for our better colleagues.
Of course, yeah, and we appreciate their care. So disposition of these patients, we kind of hinted at this already. When are you discharging these people?
Yeah, look, bread and butter stuff here. The cause is clear. You corrected it. You skipped a meal. You know exactly what it was. And not just what the cause is, but it's fixable.
Easy.
Right?
Yeah. Short-acting insulin,
Also, mental status has to be back to normal, right? You're not sending home Mima still drowsy, right? Mental status has to be back
Slap
normal.
Slap a CMG on that.
CMG and out. And monitor them for a few hours. There's not like a hard cutoff for this. I personally, if someone had a severe episode, I'm going to watch them for like 2-3 hours, make sure they're eating, tolerating things okay. They're not vomiting or anything like that. And they're feeling better. I'm not just going to send them right out the door, right? And then reliable follow-up is going to be important too. So reliable follow-up and good home support. Sometimes like these folks come in because they missed a meal, but they missed a meal due to food insecurity, right? tease into that, right? Like, why didn't you eat?
Yeah,
Was there
definitely.
an issue accessing food? Well, now you're just sending someone home again to,
Same problem.
repeat the cycle.
Yeah.
There are cases to obviously admit these folks. What are those, Briggs?
Yeah, so unclear cause, we already mentioned. The big thing is this sulfonylurea, and that's really glossed over because we forget about those drugs. We worry about the insulin so much, but the glipizide and glimepiride
Yeah.
and all those G ones,
Yeah.
they're
Yep.
concerning, and they're at high
Yep.
risk of prolonged episodes of hypoglycemia. In fact, this is one of those medications. We did a rapid bomb on this years ago, and this is the one pill can kill category, meaning that if a child takes one pill of a sulfonylurea from their grandma's purse, they automatically buy an admission to the hospital.
Yeah.
And that is 100% admission, just because that is an example of medication that can cause detrimental hypoglycemia in a child. We talked
Yep.
about non-diabetic
100%.
hypoglycemia with no obvious cause. That should
Mm-hmm.
be admitted for further workup for endocrine issues. And then just persistent episodes. You've reversed their sugar now, replaced it like 3 times. Why have you done that? The question is, the patient's telling you, oh, they just skipped a meal. Why would that happen, over
Yeah.
2 hours, 3 times in a row?
Yeah.
That's just stop
Yeah.
playing around and just admit this. I know it sounds lame, but it's not. It's high risk.
Yeah. In some of these meds, like, right? So your sulfonylurea is like some of these other medicines too. You have some renal excretion and other things happening. So you get labs and all of a sudden you find out that their creatinine's terrible or their GFR is terrible.
Whoopsie.
Then again, you're going to have to like sit on these folks and like watch them for a while and admit them. By sit on them, I mean admit them. You're not just going to be like, oh, I've given you multiple hits of dextrose boluses and tons of graham crackers. You're going to go home now.
Totally. Hey, let's do some shorts to wrap this up.
Okay.
Let me give you some situations. I'll put you in the hot seat. Since you wear an Oura ring, do you feel engaged?
Yes.
Your HRV is high, whatever that means.
Let's
So
go.
let me give you some situations here, and you talk through your first line medication you're going to do to treat this, and then maybe an add-on additional intervention, and then your disposition plan. Okay, so situation, you got a patient with hypoglycemia,
Okay.
and they are awake and oriented, and they look well.
Love it. Yeah.
Their glucose
how
is
low
like 40,
is their blood sugar?
40.
40. Oh, it's terrible. Yeah. Okay.
What's your first line?
First step, they look awake, but they look terrible, but they're awake. They're protecting their airway.
Yes.
They're able to talk to me somewhat. I am getting some juice ASAP, and I'm literally asking them to get some juice, getting some complex carbs, getting some peanut butter, some other stuff, other things, but starting with some PO.
Awesome.
Straight up.
Which juice are you getting?
Oh, I am gonna, at the Wake Forest Baptist, we have
30 gram hot tubs.
apple, right? We have the Teddygram hot tubs. We have apple. We have some organic orange juice. Just kidding. No.
It's definitely GMO.
I don't think it's from Florida. We no longer carry Coke or Pepsi products. We carry Shasta. Shasta is what we carry.
I thought it was
have
called
you heard
Shasta.
of this? Is it Shasta?
I don't know. I think it's Shasta.
I don't know.
We are not sponsored by
Shasta.
these products.
We're not. I mean, but if they want to
I don't want to be sponsored by Shasta.
You don't. I would take it.
You would take the money?
No Coke or Pepsi. We don't have Coke or Pepsi anymore.
Okay.
But anyways,
Sounds good.
Those are the options.
Awesome. Okay. Disposition for this patient.
So disposition for this patient is going to be. So it depends. If they
No
tell me
further
that
episodes.
no further episodes. Oh, they're doing great. They accidentally like just skipped a meal, and that's why it happened.
Yep.
I watched them for like 2-3 hours and home.
Okay, cool. Let's say we have a very ill-appearing patient. You have IV access, and they're unresponsive. They are not waking up to turn up. Glucose is like, 20.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah, that's not good at all. What do you want to do?
Yeah. Ignoring some of the airway stuff, we will give something IV, obviously, right?
D10 or
so
D50.
this is a patient. Yeah. So
awesome.
D10, D50, boom, hit them up.
All right, you got a type 2 diabetic, just like the question stem. Glucose is 35. They take glipizide at home, and you gave them D50 already, no response. What are you doing?
Yeah. Then octreotide, right? So octreotide along with, obviously, that D50 that we gave, right? So that's the key. Octreotide.
Yeah.
They're going to ask you on that. They're going to tag you on that. That's a great oral boards presentation as well.
It's kind of funny.
Just remember the octreotide, okay?
It's kind of funny giving octreotide. We actually are going to have a measurable response from giving it, unlike GI bleeds. But that's a whole other topic for another day.
We're not gonna get into that.
So patient has no IV access, and they are a type 1 diabetic. They skipped a meal. They take insulin usually. What is something you can do as a temporizing measure?
They take insulin usually, right? And
not definitive.
Not definitive, but they're with it.
They're not really with it. No IV access.
No, they're not really with it. No IV access. I'm glucagon.
Yeah, sure.
You can give that, but you need to really chase that as well.
Yeah, don't focus on that at all. IV We're just telling you because it exists. Don't focus on that. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I think that's it.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I think like the key things here with hypoglycemia is please give them complex carbs if they're able to tolerate it. And if they're not, and you give them something IV like IV dextrose, please chase that with a meal and some foods, right? So it's like, I mean, you slam that, D50, but then as soon as Mimon perks up, get some food in her. Please.
Yeah, get that continental breakfast in there. The orange juice, the
continental breakfast.
Juice, the applesauce, and the yes. I was just thinking that. And that
I know you were.
Yeah. Can you imagine like a patient wake up in the morning saying, "You know what? I'm going to the merch department for that continental breakfast."
Continental breakfast.
Apple orange juice. Maybe some cranberry and a certain Shasta cola for brunch.
Shasta cola.
And the turkey sandwich.
Oh man, good stuff. Hey, Briggs.
Baked Lay's
last thing
too.
I want to shout out something. Our Instagram account.
It's blown up.
And we have a TikTok account now that's blowing up. So we are. I mean, it's gotten pretty wild. I mean, one of our reels has gotten like 250,000 views. Like it's the hydralazine one.
Yes.
Is just creating all types of controversy. It's like hundreds of comments, and then we've got like even on TikTok hundreds and thousands of views. So, anyways, it's really becoming an interesting place. But check us out.
That's one way to put it.
I mean, it's interesting, is what I'll say. Some of the comments have been fat. I think people don't understand that some of the stems and everything, we do it out of jest and fun. But as I've realized, like, when I put stems out there are people who get like offended. Yes. They're like, that is so inappropriate.
Well, they're not going to like this one.
I'm like, what do you want us to do? We're not taking ourselves seriously. We're dropping high yield content here.
Yeah.
One person got upset at us because we weren't talking about detailed. They literally said mechanisms of action.
Yeah, we've made that multiple.
Where the I know. We're like, where's the mechanism of action and the lack of focus on that?
It's not on this blue collar podcast.
No, some other ones for that.
Yeah,
it's not us.
Yeah, check that out somewhere else. Smarter podcast. We'll talk about that.
I know. Anyways, follow us on TikTok
and Instagram. We're there.
Yeah, we're not really on Twitter anymore, by the way. But yeah, we're definitely there. Yeah, I guess.
EMBoardBombs.com. Check us out.
Yeah, EMBoardBombs.com. EM Rapid Bombs, check it out. Appreciate all our subscribers and all the residency programs that have signed up recently. If you are part of a residency and you want your PD to sign up, don't hesitate to have them reach out to us. You can find our contact information on the website. That's what a lot of residents have actually done recently when they've gotten their PDs to sign up for their class. So,
see you next time.
That's it.
Bye.